Hey guys, it's Sarah Schneider with the Nourish Mama and nourishlife.org. If you are new to the group or you're new to me, I'm a holistic nutritionist and I help mamas reset, heal, and nourish their bodies so that they can achieve lasting and sustainable weight loss. So today, and this is something that has come up a lot. We're going to talk about how the thoughts of others we need to create boundaries. They need to be independent of your value, your worth, and what you think about yourself. Okay. Um, and I know you probably assume where I'm going with this, but it's a completely different, it's a completely different direction. So one of the things that I've heard a lot in the last few days from clients, from friends, as mamas and as partners, wives, we really try to do our absolute best at taking care of everybody else's needs, right? That's one of our roles as a caregiver is to really take care of others' needs. The problem is when we take whatever somebody thinks or their perspective on something or their opinion on something and we internalize it as we're not enough, we're not valuable enough, we're not worthy enough, we're not good enough. And then that ends up feeding the negative thought gremlins. And we start believing that, we start thinking that ourselves. And the thing about it is, their perspectives, their thoughts, their opinions most times have absolutely nothing to do with how you care for them or how you show up or whether it was good enough. Most of the time it's just extrinsic opinions, and it shouldn't influence the way you view yourself. Okay, so let's talk about this. For example, um, one of my clients had talked about how she made dinner, right? She got the kids and, taking baths, and her husband comes home and everything is all situated and perfect. And he says, I really rather this food over this food, right? And instantly we go to that place of, oh, well, it wasn't good enough. I didn't, make him what he wanted, or I didn't, get, um, I should have known that and picked something else or whatever, right? And we feel like it was something that we didn't do right. We feel wronged. And the problem is when we feel this way, then we start feeling bitter. Then we start feeling resentful. Because when we feel like we're not good enough, we just quit, right? We get paralyzed. We're like, fine, screw it. I'm never making dinner again because I can't seem to do it right. When really it has absolutely nothing to do with you. This happens all the time in my house. I have young kids, and when I make dinner, and this isn't always food related, but when I make dinner, they're very opinionated over whether or not they enjoy it or not. My youngest likes to say, she learned this word disgusting. So she likes to tell me when food is just disgusting. So, I'll make a nice meal. We all sit down at the table, and then she says, this is disgusting. It would be really easy for me to sink into that and be like, man, I'm awful as a mom. Like, I should have made her something that she likes. If I was a good mom, then she would be eating this, right? Because she would be really adventurous, and she wouldn't, stuff her nose at something or whatever it is, right? But that's the thing, is her opinion of like, wow, this is really gross, is a 3-year-old's opinion. It has nothing to do with whether or not dinner was good or not. It has nothing to do with whether or not I didn't put in the right effort. It has nothing to do with my own personal value, right? But that's the thing, is we take on others' opinions of, and it's not even of us, that's the thing. We take on other people's opinions of just what they like in life, and then we internalize it and we flip it around and we turn it into something that it's not, and then we start feeling bad for it. So today I encourage you, to look beyond people's opinion, right? So one of the things that comes up for me when I think about this is my husband will say this a lot, right? He'll say, "We really need to get that laundry done." And that drives me insane. I automatically go to that place. Well, obviously, I'm not doing a good job because he had to ask for me to get the laundry done, right? I should have thought about that beforehand. I should have already done that. It should have already been folded and in the drawers. I'm not a good enough wife. I'm not a good enough partner. And we go to that place when all this is what we do, right? But when all that there is him asking, like, "Hey, can we get that laundry done because he wants socks?" That's it. But we take whatever they throw at us and we internalize it and we decide that we are not good enough, we are not valuable enough, we are not worthy enough because of something that was said, and um it wasn't intended for that. It was just intended to like be said in passing, right? And so today I was thinking, what if we just paid attention? We paid attention to all of those things that are said to us throughout the day, and we step back, right? We step back from whatever is being said and we separate ourselves from that opinion. So if it's another person's opinion, not necessarily of us, but just in general, that makes us feel kind of icky, that gets those negative thought gremlins going, that makes us feel like we're not worthy enough, we're not good enough, we're not valuable enough. Um, when we start feeling like that, start to separate yourself and then think about it. Was it really against you, or was it really just their opinion? Because if it was really just their thoughts in life, right? Like my 3 year old going, "This meal is disgusting." It has nothing to do with me. This has everything to do with the fact that she's 3 and she just doesn't love lemon caper sauce, right? It has nothing to do with me providing her a good meal. It has nothing to do with me providing her adequate nutrition. It has nothing to do with me as a parent because she's not adventurous enough to enjoy new foods. It has nothing to do with me. It has absolutely everything to do with her. It's her issue. So if you are internalizing other people's thoughts and opinions of just how life works or what their thoughts are in life, start stepping back from that and really think about, what it is that is triggering you. What is it that they're saying that is triggering you? So, for example, if it's like the laundry thing, that one, for whatever reason, it really triggers me. When my husband says, "Hey, we really need to get on that laundry," he's saying it because he needs clean socks or clean underwear, right? And when I hear that, I instantly go to that place of, "I'm not doing enough. I'm not good enough. I should have thought about that beforehand." So that's where you say, "Nope, stop, separate myself from that. What is he really asking? What is he really saying?" Right? So, whatever it is, whether it's a kid that's telling you, "Mom, this food is disgusting," or if it's a husband that says, "Hey, I would really like some socks around here, clean socks," or if it's somebody at work saying, "This presentation should have been done yesterday and it's still not." And it's not done, not because of you, but because it is a collective endeavor and you're waiting on all of the collective pieces to put this presentation together, and that person knows that, right? They're not saying it against you, they're just saying it in general. "My goodness, this was supposed to be done yesterday and it's not anything, it has nothing to do with you." But this is the problem. When we don't separate ourselves and put it in perspective and realize, like, actually this has nothing to do with me, this has everything to do with the situation, the environment, somebody else. Once we separate ourselves from that, that's when we can stop the negative thought gremlins. We stop the negative thought gremlins, and that's when we start building our worth. We start building our value. So this is one of the things, like I said, that keeps coming up day after day this week. I don't know what it is, if it's like the moon and the stars and everything aligning. If you're into that, let me know where the moon is, because whatever is happening in the world is influencing this, because it's popped up a lot. And it's just one of those things that I really feel like we needed to chat about and really think about. So today, if you have noticed that this is kind of your thing, um, separate yourself from whatever is being said and ask yourself the question: is this mine? Is this something that I need to take responsibility for? Is this something that, you know what, I did commit to doing and I really need to do it? Or is this somebody else's issue? Because if it's somebody else's issue and it has nothing to do with you, you need to separate yourself from that. Remind yourself that this is their issue, right? And this doesn't define my worth. This doesn't define my value. This doesn't define whether or not I'm doing enough, being enough, whatever, because I already am enough. And then remind yourself, right? I am already enough. Like, just by making dinner, you're enough, right? Even if the kids don't enjoy it, even if they turn their nose up, even if your kids are like my 3-year-old and like, that's disgusting. You still showed up, mama. You made dinner, right? Even if your husband's like, hey, we really need to get on that laundry, I have like 0 clean underwear, it's not a slight against you. It's just like, hey, let's get on that laundry, right? Um, let's do a load tonight so that we have some clean clothes for tomorrow. But it has nothing to do with your worth. It has nothing to do with your value, because you are already divinely worthy. You are already enough. This is just the day-to-day stuff. But this does cause the negative thought gremlins into that downward spiral of I'm not enough, I'm not enough, I'm not enough. And what happens, this is the thing, what happens when we are not enough? When the negative thought gremlins will tell you that you're not enough times that day, you quit, right? You quit doing all of the things that you need to do to care for yourself because you don't feel worthy. You quit all self-care. You quit, eating healthfully. You quit, you say, I'm not going to the gym because I feel like total crap today. Like, you know what? I'm not enough and I'm not going to be enough and I'm definitely not going to be enough at the gym, right? We start doing all of these things that make us feel terrible. On top of that, the negative thought gremlins are going to keep you into that space, right? The next day and the next day. And then you drop into that emotional eating, right? If you're not feeling good enough, if you're feeling upset about stuff, if you're feeling disappointed, if you're feeling like you are just a hot mess all the time, then what's the point? And you want to make yourself feel better. So what do? You go to food. You go to that emotional place, that connection. You're going to go to something usually sweet or carby that's going to turn to sugar in the body to give you that serotonin lift, right? And this is what happens. So this is why it's so important to really separate yourself from everybody else's opinions around you. Not their opinions of you, just their opinions in life, just their thoughts in life, just their questions, just their statements. It doesn't have to be directly related to you. But if you're internalizing it, and then you're shifting that and it gets all mixed around inside of you, and you're internalizing that as you're not enough, then those negative thought gremlins are going to send you into that downward spiral, and you're going to quit. You're not going to take care of yourself the way that you deserve to be taken care of. And you're probably, if you're an emotional eater, going to turn to food to make yourself feel better. And none of that is good for your body. None of that is good for your soul. And you're going to stay small, right? Because negative thought gremlins, they want us to stay small. They want us to have a very small voice. They don't want us to live big, vibrant lives. They want us to be really small and unseen. And so that's what you do. You retreat, you get small. So today, tomorrow, this week, when you're going through life and you hear these things from people, separate yourself, ask yourself, okay, is this mine? Is this something that I really do need to take responsibility for? Is this something that I committed to and I totally failed because I'm a human and I'm flawed and I'm beautiful? Like, is it that? Because if it is, take responsibility. If it's not, if it's the little kid going, that's disgusting, mom, it's not yours, it's theirs. It's something that they're going to have to deal with. It has nothing to do with you or your parenting or whatever. So you're separating yourself from that. You ask yourself the question, separate yourself if it's not yours. And then the very last thing is remind yourself that I'm enough. Like, the laundry doesn't define my value. The dinner on the table doesn't define my value. Making sure that I meet my partner's needs doesn't define my value, right? Because I'm already valuable. I'm already intrinsically worthy. I'm already enough. Just right now, as I am, imperfect, flawed, wherever you are enough. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's message. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to talk about balance because that's something that I hear about a lot. And I think that there's a lot of misconceptions on what balance really is. Because is not balance is not doing all the things every day. And I think that a lot of people feel like that is, right? 10 minutes of this, 10 minutes of this, 10 minutes of this, packing every single thing that you need to do um, in a day is not possible. And it's just going to cause you to crash and burn. So tomorrow we're going to talk about the problems with balance. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, I'm around, PM me. If you need anything, I'm around, PM me. Please post in the Facebook group, whatever you are, you know, facing, if it's a success, if it is a challenge in your journey, if it's just a funny meme thing that you saw on the Facebook that you think would make others get a good laugh out of, whatever it is that you feel like posting, feel free to post freely. This is your group, not mine. I mean, I'm the admin, but it's not my group. This is for you. This is your community. This is for you to have accountability and support. And just have a good time. So I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll talk with you guys soon. Bye, guys.